You're listening to Passages, a podcast about great quotes, life, and the wisdom of the Bible. And now your hosts, Drew Kaiser, Jason Pulliam, and Tim Layton.
We shall meet, but we shall miss him. There will be one vacant chair. We shall linger to caress him when we breathe our evening prayer.
It's a sad night, guys. We're flying the missing man formation tonight.
I believe this is the first in 51 episodes that
Without
Drew has
Drew?
not been here.
Yeah, it's an interesting night. No, we had one other.
Yeah,
Did we?
I said it on one.
Yeah, it's the
Without
second.
Drew?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was early on. He had a speaking engagement. We do have producer extraordinaire in the house with us tonight.
P. Birch is in the house.
Hello.
And
That was the one where we tried to call Drew and we
That's
thought
right.
and we thought it was Mackenzie.
that's
'Cause
right.
right.
That's
'cause
right.
The voice was weird.
Yeah.
Coming through. Yeah.
Sadly, I don't think we'll get to make that phone call tonight.
No.
Drew is recovering from a procedure. If you go on his Facebook account, you can see a clip where he talks about deep brain stimulation, which is a procedure he had to try to combat the symptoms of his Parkinson's. Went through that procedure today. Tim, you were up there. Give us a little update.
Had about a 4-hour procedure. Everything we've heard is that it went well. Had a pretty serious headache, as I understand it, as you would guess.
To be expected.
Touching the brain and working on the brain. But I think they've got that under control pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
And he was asking for family, so because he was getting bored, and all of that sounds really good.
That's a good sign. And this procedure is step one. He's going to spend tonight in the hospital, I think come home sometime during the day tomorrow. And then on Friday, he goes back for round 2, which is where they kind of connect everything that they've worked on. So
Right.
Be interesting to see.
Yeah, because, there were, excuse me, so many people were interested in this today, right? So I was getting a lot of texts from folks, and they were saying, did it correct the tremor,
Yeah.
right? And so this first part is just to get the electrodes
Into the brain. Mm-hmm.
Right? And so it basically hooks it up to the sort of the control module of the brains
Mm-hmm.
of the operation on Friday, and then they'll, as I understand it, they'll start with a little bit of a charge,
And
maybe.
then I think is it 2 months out? He said that they would, or 8 weeks, 6 weeks, something like that. They would adjust it. They would start fine-tuning
to
it,
adjust, right? So, I think it'll be a little bit of a process for them to, get to the point where he hopes to be.
Yep.
But big step on Friday, everything will be in place for that to start happening.
And I know today was involving brain, but just talking with Drew, the procedure Friday, I don't think it's going to be a real walk in the park either, because they'll be kind of placing some of the wiring, the control device, almost like a little pacemaker thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's got a lot of healing to do. But I know he has been anxiously awaiting this and excited about the possibilities that this offers.
Yeah. And for any of you that have talked with Drew about this, today was, the most concerning, because he was not put completely under
That's right.
for this procedure. Yeah. They did say that after the procedure was over, apparently he was put under. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was interesting. He'll have to tell us about that. But
Yeah.
I think that was to, give him a chance probably for some
Recovery.
rest, right?
Yeah.
And recovery.
Yeah.
And so, we'll look forward to him giving us the lowdown and some updates when we have him back.
Andy, his dad, told me that after they had placed the wires, they I guess tested them or applied some amount of electrical charge to them, and the doctor said the tremor just stopped.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'm hopeful.
I like the
I'm
sound
hopeful
of
that
that.
that is the way.
Sounds great.
One of the things Drew said that they keep them awake for is, one, so that they can judge, reaction to what's going on to make sure there's not any other neurologic deficit starting. But also when you sleep, your tremor stops. So the only way they can really test placement, test everything, is for you to be awake. And I thought that was really interesting.
It
That
really is.
would be stressful to be awake knowing that they are working on your brain.
I can't wait for us to have a chance to talk to him.
It's gonna be
and
interesting.
And we'll do some of that on here, because I want him to talk to us about what he remembers or recalls about the whole thing, because that has been the part that has really been, I mean, for any of us, right, to think about having brain surgery while being awake.
Yep.
I mean, could there be a more sort of horrifying thought than that?
Well, it sounds like something you would see in a movie, and having a close friend that's just gone through it, it'll be a good opportunity to maybe gain some information, learn a little bit about it.
Yeah.
So.
And, Jason mentioned already that on Facebook he's done a reel, I think they call it, or whatever, that just sort of gave a little information about what he was about to do. And I think if he decides what he was planning on, I think he may do a few more of those to sort of share a little bit more as the journey goes on. So those will be exciting to see as well.
Well, and one of the things that's interesting is I know he has been chronicling and talking about some of this stuff on social media, but he talked about it when we were here, the last time we got together and did this, that he's also got a book coming out that's kind of a talk through about chronic disease and kind of how he has worked through some of that. And it'll be an interesting thing.
Yeah.
But so to change subject, I want to get into some things going on. It's been 2 weeks since we've met, and I wanted to know, what are y'all's thoughts on the drone stuff going on in New Jersey? Have you heard about this?
I have heard about it.
It's a little concerning to me. One, because I have a little bit of conspiracy theorist in me. But I pulled it up on Google today, just a quick search, and there are so many articles and stories. So like CNN, their headline from yesterday was "What We Know About Mysterious Drone Sightings." The Guardian from 12 hours ago, and I pulled this up at 5:42 this evening. They're looking for something. Rumors abound over unsettling drone sightings in New Jersey. 2 days ago, key U.S. Air Force base closes airspace because of drone sightings. Department of Defense doubles down, says drones are not U.S. military assets. President Joe Biden seeks to reassure the U.S. over drone mystery if he can find his pants and get himself dressed. He's like, Anyway, sorry, that was an aside. And then a day ago, lost control. U.S. drone pilot describes encounter with New Jersey UFO, which is an unidentified flying object. I think that's a good name for it.
If they can't identify it, it's a UFO.
So it's just really, it's crazy to think about, because we're not talking like a drone or 5 drones. This is vast numbers of drones. I heard somebody say that they've counted 50, 60 of these things at a time.
But is it just one of those things where like people start hearing about it and it's like, I think I'll fly my drone out there too, right? And be part of all this?
These are not. Now, Alejandro Mayorkas, I hope I said that right.
That was impressive.
Yeah, I hope I said that right. Well, I like that song Alejandro, so I learned how to say that one.
Can you get a little closer?
That song? I mean, Alejandro Mayorkas.
Thank you.
Who is I think he's over Homeland Security. He once said to his friend. No, I'm sorry. So Alejandro Mayorkas.
Are you supposed to say something like "prepare to die" or something at some point along with Alejandro?
Hello, my name is Alejandro Mayorkas. You killed my father. Prepare to die. I'm sorry. I'm doing an aside here in the middle. That's harkening
There's going
back
to be
to
a SWAT team at your house
probably
when you get home.
Well, not tonight, because they won't pick this up. Oh, my phone's on. Yeah,
They're
toast.
always listening,
Yeah.
Jason.
So he came out and said, these are just hobbyists, like the drones you would get at a convenience store. Number one, I've never seen a convenience store selling drones. Not even at Buc-ee's, which we live 2 miles from,
Right.
3 miles from.
And if a convenience store would sell a drone, Buc-ee's would do it. They'd be branded with the beaver.
They
but
would.
It would.
And
they
no one
would
has,
sell it.
and nobody has reported any giant beavers flying over New Jersey. So I don't think it's a Bucky beaver drone.
Mm-hmm.
That being said,
What
these
if
drones
there was no big tail flopping behind it.
what if that's what was driving it was the big tail? It was just, I don't know. Maybe that's a little bit much. But these are not hobby size. You have a drone. How big is your drone? A foot across?
Not even that.
Yeah. I mean, it's tiny, and it's a pretty sophisticated
Yeah,
drone.
right.
But they're saying wingspans like 8, 9, 10 feet wingspans on these things. I don't think that's your average hobbyist. And so it's kind of concerning. Are these our military that is coming up with new tech that they're trying out?
Or is it the next iteration of that balloon that flew across?
Yeah, or is
whatever,
this a foreign entity doing this? You know, I want Patrick, because Patrick's my tech guy. He's got a little conspiracy theorist in him, I think. If he doesn't, he should.
I mean,
What you saying?
What do you think?
first of all, they wouldn't have lights on them if they were nefarious. I mean, if this were
Yep.
some other country, they just wouldn't put. Why would they put lights on them?
Right. So it's obvious it's there, right? You see
Yeah.
the light.
Yeah,
right?
because I mean, there's videos. I mean, you can even see the lights in this black and white.
Are they
picture.
in some kind of structure, or is it just random out there or
so
whatever?
there's 2 pretty big airports near New Jersey, and I mean, they're just airplanes. That's my hot take.
You think they're airplanes?
I think they're just airplanes and helicopters.
You mean just like normal flights
just
every
flight
day,
path.
and people are seeing them and freaking out about them, but they're just the same lights that they would see any
What
other.
color pill do I have
any
to
other
give you
day.
to get you out of the matrix?
I think they're just airplanes.
I'm curious to see. So this is the interesting thing, is that the government is saying they don't really know what these things are, but they're shutting down military airspace over these Air Force bases. And that's weird. LaGuardia, I think, was shut down for a certain amount of time because of these things flying over
Now,
in their airspace.
then is there some discussion about? I think I heard this week about maybe authorization for shooting them down, or some of that, right? Which you probably need to know at that point whether it's a drone or a helicopter.
The FBI has come out and said you should not shoot at them because it could be a helicopter or an airplane.
I'm just interested in all the pictures we see again of them are from far away
And blurry.
and blurry.
Yeah.
They're just airplanes. Get closer. You know where they're going. There's an app that will tell you where they are.
And you think it's just people panicking
I think it's
stuff.
just people panicking and fake news.
You're killing me, Patrick. I was hoping you were going deep, dark conspiracy here with me today.
Nope.
Now, I've heard some crazy things. I don't think it's as crazy as some of the other things, but there's something weird going on, and I don't like it. You know where they're not flying, though? Over the South or Texas. Because you know what happens over Texas in the South? If it flies, it dies. Because it is in the middle of hunting season right now. Yeah. I mean, it just take them
I
out.
don't see any ducks right now. Let's shoot down that light right there.
Yeah. I know they make drones that are that big, but they're not something that you and I can go purchase.
Probably
That's a
not.
military industrial grade thing.
Yeah.
Did you see, somebody showed me a Facebook clip of one that they caught on camera and they zoomed in really, really close to it.
And it was a 737.
No, it had a sign on it that said, "We've been trying to reach you about, your
your car
yeah,
insurance."
about your car insurance." So the telemarketers may be flying these things. I'm not sure. That was I think somebody was just funning with us there.
Oh, maybe so.
Yeah. So anyway, if you aren't already wearing your tinfoil hat and tinfoil underwear, which I obviously don't have the hat on, but I'm definitely wearing the tinfoil underwear just in case. This makes me my conspiracy theorist side is tingling a little
We
bit.
need to
I'm
put a
just saying.
pin in that one and come back to it as we
Yeah,
learn
I'm gonna
more
put a pin in it.
about the drones.
But let me tell you this: don't believe anything Alejandro Mayorkas tells you, because he's lying.
Oh me!
All right, that's all I got.
All right, I'm going to do a Yay Sports. I don't know if we have a Yay Sports.
Well, I did not have that lined up.
Let's see if we.
Oh, it's in there.
I am clearly
Page 4, maybe.
page 4.
we name this Yay Sports for
after
Patrick.
me.
Yeah. Well, he's the only guy I've ever seen hit a putt from 100 feet and win a car.
He is the only person I know that's ever been on Sports Center top 10
He is.
for hitting that putt.
I don't see one called Yay Sports.
All right,
Okay.
that's okay.
Yay, sports. Ah! All right, we're ready.
All right, so I want to talk a little bit about this is a topic that we've discussed in the past, but it's time for the college football playoffs, and we've had several discussions about all the challenges that NIL, name, image, and likeness, and the transfer portal, and just all the changes in college football, the impact that they've had on the game. So tonight, I want to talk for a second about about the transfer portal, because what has happened in college football right now is that we are now on the brink of the first 12-team college football playoff. It starts Friday night. And ahead of that, the transfer portal has opened up. And so if you took that situation and you applied it to the NFL, it would be like the regular season was ending and it's time for the playoffs, and all of a sudden, all of the folks whose contracts were ending and were becoming free agents, they just opened up and they began to negotiate and go to other teams and sign new contracts and leave their current team before the playoff and the Super Bowl happened, right? Makes no logical sense whatsoever. Mm-hmm. And so it's just another impact of, what's going on with the transfer portal. I was listening to some discussion about this week, and because college football has become so much like professional sports, one of the things that sort of gets lost in the mix is if you're transferring somewhere, you're going to a new school, right? We sort of lose the whole school thing in this now. But what has to happen in order for you to go to a new school? You have to enroll in the new semester, right? And so in order for you to, right, so
you have to do it in time before the semester
Ava's
starts.
home from Freed right now. The kids are out of college, right? Yeah. So, it's over. In order for them to get enrolled and become eligible at their new school, that starts in January, right? And so it's not like they can just say, hey, let's move the transfer portal until the college football playoff is over, which is going to be at least the middle of January. Then new sessions have started at new schools. These people are trying to make decisions. It's too late to get into, to get to their new school, get signed up for classes, and get going to establish eligibility.
That's right.
And so it's just it's a mess. And so, you would think that, well, in the past, the whole goal has been, for a college athlete, they want to win the championship, right? They want to win the national championship. And so even these teams that are in the college football playoff, these 12 teams, they all have some number of players who have gone in the transfer portal. So here they are. They're one of the teams that has a chance to win a national championship, and they're saying bye to their old team. This is not just like Alabama, who didn't make the top 12, and they're going down.
This is Penn State is one of the teams being affected.
Absolutely. So I found an article that sort of tells you the number of, out of those 12 teams, how many folks are transferring. And it's not necessarily starters, but it's, in some cases, I know that Penn State's backup quarterback, for instance, has gone into the transfer portal
and left them without a backup going into the playoffs.
Right. So what happens in the second quarter of their, playoff game? Guy goes down with a knee injury, and oh, by the way, their backup quarterback's in the transfer portal.
Oh, their head coach was hot about it too.
Absolutely, right.
And I would be.
And it's a problem, but you can't blame the players, right? Because those players, here's what they're dealing with, right? Is number one, well, a lot of these guys are backups, right? So if I want to go be a starter somewhere else and I'm not necessarily in the progression to become, so maybe that backup at Penn State knows, hey, there's a new hot shot they've recruited. I'm not going to be the guy here. If I'm going to if I'm going to play in college, I need to go somewhere else. Or the other thing that's happening is these guys start creating value at one school, and so he's the second string quarterback and he's making $100,000 in NIL money at Penn State, and all of a sudden he knows, because wink wink nod nod, there's been discussions before they get into the transfer portal that say, for instance, if he goes to, I'll make it up, University of Houston, that he'll be the starter and they'll give him $250,000. So they all have they've got an opportunity to maximize their chance. And not all these guys are going to the NFL. Only a very small percentage of them are.
That's right.
And so this is earning potential for them that they will probably not, outside of these 4 years, they probably won't see the rest of their life.
No.
And so it's become the team with the largest number of transfers in the playoffs is Arizona State. They've had 12 players. That's a substantial number of players. And they said,
What's that?
I don't think
75, 80 man
something
roster,
like that, right? So that's some depth at
12,
a minimum.
13%,
You have to assume that it's not like the last 12 on the team. Those guys probably don't have a lot
why
of
would
potential
they
to go
even be
anywhere,
transferring? Yeah.
right? So I'm going to stick where I am and keep my scholarship. It's guys that that are probably second stringers or maybe a little bit behind that, and have an opportunity to improve their situation going somewhere else.
I'm not much of one that likes regulation. I'm fine, deregulate it, make it like the Wild Wild West. In this case, though, the transfer portal has created this problem where these kids can just decide to change their minds at the drop of a hat with no consequences. And they're going to have to stop this from happening. They're going to have to put in a rule like you get one free transfer. Once you transfer that one time, if you transfer after that, you sit for a year or you don't play for, because until they do something like that, it's going to continue to be this.
Right. So
these schools they're not supposed to be, but
my
they're
goodness.
recruiting these guys.
Absolutely.
These second string guys that are really, really good athletes can bring their team up. They're recruiting them. There's people reaching out.
And their first string guys. I mean, Bama's has had 4 or 5 guys who, that are some starters that, they're headed somewhere else. And, everybody's got a limited amount of money that they can dedicate toward name, image, and likeness. And so, somebody decides, hey, we're a defensive tackle away from a championship team. Well, let's go get Bama's defensive tackle and offer him twice what they're offering him right now. Let's put our money right there.
Yep.
And, and so it's just it is really creating a mess.
Yep.
And I think we've said this before, but it's worse than professional football. And I just mean in terms of just how challenging it is to try to make this work, because professional football at least has contracts, right?
right.
And not basically in college football, at the end of every year, everybody's a free agent.
That's right. Well, and the big news, I guess it was this week that they announced that North Carolina hired Bill Belichick to come in and run their program. I read an article, I don't remember what day it was this week, that he is hiring a general manager to come in and try to manage some of this chaos, which is crazy to think. I mean, general managers have always been something in professional sports, but that's not something that you've ever seen in college football.
Alabama has one.
Really?
They
I
do.
did not know that.
And they brought this guy in. He was at Michigan, and then he was at Washington, and DeBoer brought him to Alabama
Just
for this
simply
same thing.
to manage.
There is just too much business to go on here, right? It's not about, so Belichick, wants to come in and he wants to coach plays and X's and O's and scheme and watch film and do all the things that coaches do. He doesn't want to try to run this business of, I've got this much money in the pot. Who are we going to give it to?
And how do we keep this athlete happy and this athlete happy? That's a nightmare.
It is a nightmare.
Great time if you're a skilled college player right now.
Yeah.
It's probably the best time to be a skilled college player because you can make some jack.
And the flip side of this is you can always say, listen, the colleges have been so in control for so long, and now they're paying the price. They are completely out of control.
Oh, I've heard it described as the wild, wild west of college football.
And the players have all the control now, right? So to some degree, the tables are turned, but just in terms of it sort of making sense and just being something that has any control around it is...
and there'll be a correction. The pendulum will swing back to center.
It will have
at some
to.
point.
It's
going to have to.
That's right.
But if you got a son or daughter that's able to play college sports right now, you get them in there, let them play, especially if they're going to be, at the top half of the team.
And now they get in before this regulation occurs, and who knows how much money is really flying around.
You
right
take
now.
a 21-year-old in college sports and say, we're going to write you a check for $100,000. That's not generational money, but that's life-changing money, at least, and if they don't blow it. Now, if you also give a 20-year-old $100,000, who knows where it's going?
Yeah. Well, and there's a lot of there's a lot of talk about how much these players are really making, but because I don't understand necessarily exactly how the NIL money gets formalized and exactly the way that it gets doled out. And, so do they have to make public record of exactly, what people are, they probably do for some legal and tax purposes.
some way they have to,
somehow.
yeah.
But, they're like Shedeur Sanders, Deion's son at Colorado, was apparently making like $4 million last year.
I knew I should have stopped studying and just been an athlete.
Yeah.
I had the genetics,
If we had only known.
the looks, the drive, just no skill. Man, I was awful at every sport. Awful. So let's get the 800-pound gorilla out of the room. Christmas is upon us. How's the decorations going, Tim?
Well, it has been a slow year at the Layton house. We have declared tomorrow Christmas decoration day.
Well, I hope so, because
So-
it's like Christmas is next week.
I know. This is incredibly late. But Millie and I both got sick.
Yep.
Sort of in succession. And but tomorrow, Jonathan and I have exterior illumination responsibilities, and
Very important.
Millie has the tree work to do, and we're going to make some things happen.
How many
tomorrow.
inflatables are we putting in the yard, Tim?
Well,
Is Drunk Santa coming back? Or did you
no,
get rid of Drunk Santa?
now drunk / osteoporosis Santa.
Yeah.
He finally bit the bullet.
Okay.
And
He needed to, Tim.
But he was replaced with a new Santa.
Okay.
So new
8, 12, 18 feet. How tall is this guy?
at least 12.
Oh, that's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
I always like when I could drive into Oliver Crossing and boom, there's Tim's house. You could
Now,
just see it looming over the trees.
The green devil of envy, Miss Miller's house down here on the corner,
Yeah.
heading toward the middle school. If your geography
Everybody
of Leeds.
knows.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You can't miss it.
I mean, it just warms the cockles of my heart. She has this year an enormous Christmas tree that I would consider trying to make a midnight requisition.
Does it look better than the Leeds City Christmas tree?
Oh, it spits in the general direction of the Leeds.
Is it
City
just me or
Christmas
does the
tree.
Leeds City Christmas tree look homeless?
It's sad.
I noticed a grocery cart out there parked by it earlier today. I was wondering if it's collecting lights or something around the neighborhood.
So every year the band's out there for the lighting of the
Yeah,
Christmas tree,
yeah.
right? And so, the mayor does the countdown and flips the switch or whatever. Listen, you got to get some lights on there because it's like 3, 2, 1.
And the trombone goes,
Wonk, wonk, wonk.
oh, man. Well, in honor of Christmas, every holiday needs a joke. We had Halloween. I regaled you with wonderful jokes, the best jokes, the greatest jokes. I'm channeling Trump right now, if you can't tell. Then I brought some lackluster Thanksgiving jokes. I stepped up my A game today. I went through about 600 Christmas jokes, some inappropriate, some very appropriate, and I picked out maybe the top 15 or so. So I'm going to run through these, and let's see what we get. No particular order. I'm going to kind of just save some of my favorite ones for last. Let's start with a Scrooge joke. Can't go wrong with a Scrooge joke.
All right, let's do it.
How did Scrooge score a touchdown?
How did Scrooge score a touchdown?
Yeah. The Ghost of Christmas Past. Get it? Like he
Like
threw the football,
past.
not P-A-S-T,
But
P-A-S-S-E-D.
There's
Yeah.
got to be a sound effect.
Oh,
in
there's
there for
rim
that.
shots in there, and there's the wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, hold on. Let me find these before
Yeah.
you go any
Well,
further.
There it
that
is.
was it.
Rim shots on that same page.
I
think.
fear that one may apply to each one of these jokes. But
Oh no,
let's see.
I'm bringing it.
Let's
I'm
see how
bringing
we
it
do.
tonight. Yeah. Why is the alphabet incomplete on Christmas?
The alphabet is incomplete on Christmas.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There is no L. All right, maybe that's not so good. All right, Tim.
Uh huh.
Why do reindeer wear bells?
Why do reindeer wear bells?
Bells, yeah.
I don't know.
Their horns don't work. Get it? Their horns don't work. So they have to have bells to
Bells
let.
instead.
All right, I'm gonna
Jason,
mark
it's
that
not
joke.
funny if you have to explain it.
I'm gonna mark that. No, that makes it funnier if I have to explain it. Actually, okay, Tim.
Uh-huh.
What do you call an old snowman?
What do you call an old snowman?
Yeah, this one's a tough one. I don't know. Water. All right, let's see here. Patrick, this one's for you.
Oh boy.
What is Santa's favorite nut? What's Santa's favorite nut?
I have so many ideas, but tell me what Santa's favorite nut is.
Obviously, it's the pistachio. I'll mark that one off. We'll come back to that one maybe. Tim, what do you call a blind reindeer? You got to get this one. This one's an easy one.
A blind reindeer.
Yeah. I don't know. I have no idea.
Oh, man.
See, I thought you were going to get that one.
That was always, what do you call a deer with no eyes?
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's just with a
I
reindeer.
have no idea.
I just changed the joke for Christmas. Inserted reindeer. All right, guys. Why does Santa never have to go to the hospital? He has private elf care. Oh, yes. Okay, let's see if we can find some that'll make you laugh. What do you call an Ole Miss fan that does not believe in Santa?
An Ole Miss fan?
That doesn't believe in Santa.
This is a sports joke. I wouldn't get
So
it.
let's see. Ole Miss is the Rebels. Doesn't believe in Santa. I don't know.
A rebel without a clause.
There we go.
Get it? It's instead
Rebel
of a rebel without a
cause,
but it's clause
Clause.
because it's talking about.
Christmas.
Oh, let me just mark that one
Santa.
out, and I won't do that one again.
I mean,
Next
what
year.
we got left here, Jason?
Oh, we're halfway. These just keep better. I'm saving the better ones for last.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
They
good to
get
hear.
better. Yeah.
Not a lot better. What do you call a blind reindeer with no legs, Tim?
A blind reindeer with no legs.
I got no idea.
Still no idea. Because it's still
Because he's still.
because it's
yeah.
still
Still.
yeah. It doesn't really matter what you call him. He can't run to you, which is sad. What did one snowman say to the other, Tim?
I don't know.
Do you smell carrots too? Because their nose is a carrot. Yeah. This isn't on the sheet, but that's why they go to the farmer's market to pick their nose. I got a chuckle out of Patrick. Okay. All right.
I think it's more your facial expressions.
Well, I'm nailing it. Why does Santa use a GPS? This is a great one. No, I'm sorry. I was wrong.
Oh.
I misread it. What do you call Santa without a GPS? I'm sorry. What do you call Santa without a GPS?
A GPS.
Yeah.
What's that?
A lost clause. A lost
Back-
clause.
back to the clause
Lost
again.
joke. Yeah.
Claws.
Clause. Yeah. All right, guys. I only
All right.
got 5 more.
Sorry to hear that.
How much did Santa's sleigh cost? How much did Santa's sleigh cost?
No guess.
Nothing. It was on the house.
Yes,
Up
it was.
on the rooftop, reindeer paws. Okay, sorry. Let's see here. What did the English teacher call Santa's helpers?
This is going to be another clause joke.
Yes, subordinate clauses.
Oh, there you go.
Drew would have probably nailed that with
He
his
would have.
English background.
You
Yeah.
would have.
Let's see here. We're down to 3. What order do I want to go in? What happens if you eat Christmas decorations? You get tinselitis. Tinselitis instead of tonsil. That was my third best one. All right, we're down to my last
pretty good.
two.
All right, here we go.
These are my
Best.
favorite
Last
ones.
Is that
two.
'cause it was a
Bring
medical
it,
joke?
bring it home.
What did the third wise man say after the first two presented their gifts?
Something about myrrh.
But wait, there's myrrh. Oh, yeah. The sales pitch. All right, and finally, no, I found two. I found one more.
Oh, no.
That I hadn't crossed out. Who is Santa's favorite actor? Yeah, who is Santa's favorite actor? Willem Dafoe.
Oh my goodness!
That was quite possibly the worst one.
Right,
That was quite possibly the worst one, Jason.
terrible. But that wasn't the last one, right?
No,
Please tell me we're not
no,
ending
we're not
on
ending
that
on
one.
that one.
All right,
All right,
ending on this one. Here we go.
here we go. What does a soccer announcer on the naughty list get for Christmas?
Cole!
Nailed it.
Finally got one.
Well, that's my little way of spreading merriment at the holidays.
Thank you, Jason.
Yeah.
Wow, you really.
Can I also bring up something from last episode?
Absolutely.
I disagree with y'all on the light colors. I think the multicolored lights are the best.
Do you?
I do.
Well, I mean, you have your right to be wrong.
I think the
So on the tree, you like multicolored on the tree
and on the
Okay.
outside. I
Yeah.
think it's a little festive. The other ones are just boring.
I like
I
boring.
think it's a good.
Have you met me? I am boring.
You're not that boring. Your jokes maybe, but
No, my jokes are hitting like a ton of brick. These hit like a Shabuzi song right here.
should,
All right, we're going to jump into our segment, Bad Preacher.
Preachers.
Put your hand on that television set.
And you wouldn't go about establishing your own kingdom in the video room.
Patrick knows about the video room.
Yeah, he runs the video kingdom.
Could it be Satan?
All right, so we got a little clip here from Nathaniel Hobbs. Let's just play it, and hopefully this is going to work.
This year I faked it for 6 years. I'm not faking no more. If anybody brings me fruitcake for Christmas this year, I just want to go on record and say, do not bring me that. I will throw it right back at you. I'll throw it in a trash can. God is not in fruitcake, so don't even try to do that. I've faked it for 6 years. I ain't faking it no more. Amen.
Amen.
I hate that mess. Is Bernice back here this morning? Praise God. Good. Okay. I see. Woo, help me, Jesus. I'm going to get voted out tomorrow. Amen.
So this preacher does not like fruitcake. So let's take a poll in here. Tim, what's your thoughts on fruitcake?
On fruitcake, I have to give it a thumbs down on fruitcake. Yeah, that it is. It's. I'm of the opinion that there's just a very limited number of fruitcakes in the world, and they're just passed around from house to house and not actually consumed by anyone.
Patrick,
I don't think I've ever had a fruitcake.
I think I've tried a fruitcake. What exactly is in fruitcake? Because it looks
like a brick,
disgusting.
right?
It does. It looks like they compacted your trash and all the candy that people don't like at Halloween, including dots. Yes, I said it. Dots. Jonathan, are you listening? Into this brick of breading, and it's just disgusting.
It is.
I need to look up a picture of fruitcake.
So if you were to leave a fruitcake on your counter, unattended, out in open air, how long till it grows mold? Does it ever?
I'm not sure it ever does. I think it looks exactly the same for eternity.
Okay, this is not what I thought a fruitcake looked like. I thought a fruitcake was the gelatin thing with fruit and other things in it.
Oh no.
This
no.
is like
It's like an
you're looking
actual
at the
cake.
square.
This is
but
like
it's
a
the
loaf.
square block, right?
Yeah.
Claxton, I remember, was like a big fruitcake producer. Is that not a place in Georgia? Maybe
I don't
Claxton,
know.
Georgia. I think
Maybe.
Claxton.
This one fruitcake looks like Mexican cornbread.
Let's see if Claxton makes fruitcakes.
Let's see if I think
Claxton
I found the
is in
menu.
Georgia,
Let's see what's
fruitcakes.
inside of it. All right. This
Got lots
may-
of recipes if anybody
Yeah.
wants one.
So this is the Walmart has the old Claxton fruitcake. It looks like that one. Looks
Oh yeah,
familiar?
I've seen
Yeah.
that one before.
Patrick,
It-
is that?
It looks grosser than a
I don't know
homemade
that I've
one.
ever seen that.
Yeah. So, and it's got like these different colored dots in it, and they're yellow and green. It's like, what is that green thing anyway? I mean,
It's a dot. I'm telling you,
sure
it really
looks
is
like
a dot.
isn't it?
Yeah,
I
I'm
bet
pretty sure.
if we look on the back that a dot is one of the ingredients in a Claxton fruitcake.
All right, so I'm looking up ingredients.
But each
here.
one of them, even the ones that are in the product pictures for sale at Walmart,
they
look like that they
so
were packaged
disgusting.
in the 1970s. So I'm convinced
Is that because only people who were adults in the 1970s even like these things?
possibly, but I'm still going to stick with. I think that all of the ones ever
Could
made
be.
were maybe made in the 70s and are just in some type of circulation. Maybe
You
they
can't actually digest them.
like stock. Claxton buys them back and then
Yeah.
sells them again. I don't know.
Do you think this is what Patriot Food Supply sells in their self-sustaining food supply that
may
you
be
can get?
it.
It's like good on the shelf for 30 years. It's
Yep.
this and some Vienna sausages.
I think it's
something
that.
like that.
Mhm.
Let's
That
see.
and some powdered eggs.
So according to the great website, is it Wikipedia? Is that how you would say it? Wikipedia?
Wikipedia.
Yeah, Wikipedia. It's a cake made of candied or dried fruits, nuts, and spices, and optionally soaked in spirits. I don't know if they mean the Holy Spirit or if they mean some kind of alcoholic.
well, we
beverage.
heard that
guessing
God
they
was
may
not-
mean something else.
Yeah, we heard that God was not in fruitcake.
That is true,
probably
so
not
it's
the Holy
definitely
Spirit.
not the
God is
Holy
not
Spirit.
in fruitcake, right? And I'm telling you what, Big Man was talking some stuff until he realized that Bernice was in the house.
Well, we all have that Bernice in our life that you're talking, and then you realize I just stepped on Grandma Ma's toes, and I'm in a lot of
because
trouble.
you know what Bernice has in her purse wrapped up for him
A fruitcake.
is a fruitcake.
Yeah, and my guess is there's probably a Starlight peppermint without a wrapper that's got some fuzz and a couple little
Stuck
hairs.
to the side of it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's in there in the bottom, and it's been in there since 1878.
Possibly
Tim.
also a butterscotch.
So this is let's see here, the shelf life of a fruitcake.
Eternity.
All right, how about this? When a fruit cake contains a good deal of alcohol, it can be preserved for many years. Kind of like one of my great uncles. That's funnier than any of my jokes. I'm joking, Mom, Dad. I know you listen. I'm not talking about that uncle. For example, a fruit cake baked in 1878 has been kept as an heirloom by a family in Tecumseh, Michigan. As of 2019, the baker's great-great-granddaughter is the custodian of the cake. Wrapping the cake in alcohol-soaked linen before storing is one method of lengthening its shelf life. There was a 106-year-old fruit cake discovered in 2017 by the Antarctic Heritage Trust, was described as in excellent condition and almost edible.
Almost.
See, that's the deal.
One
Right,
made
'cause
yesterday is almost edible.
The one that was like soaking it in alcohol or whatever, you know what they weren't doing? Eating it.
Yeah, it just sounds gross.
That's like life support.
Yeah.
They're just keeping it going.
Like
This
I
is
wonder.
this is like I've seen a McDonald's hamburger that
Yeah,
someone bought and
right.
laid out and was sitting out for months and months, and it didn't mold. The ants didn't eat it. Just, I mean, it looked a little dried up, but otherwise looked like the day you
The
bought
same. Yep.
Let's see here. What fruits are in there? What? Oh, here's a question. What's the green stuff in fruitcake? These are paradise green candied cherries, also known as glace
As-
green cherries.
Also known as dots.
it. Gross.
Dots, yeah. So
you
I don't think we have to
had to
worry about
ask.
any of these things showing up at any of our homes. You know, but I wonder if one of us will get one from somebody. Because,
You know-
you know, people drop those things off from time to time.
A lot of times around here, somebody makes this little chocolate loaf cake, and I don't know who makes it because it always just is put in the control room, and it is actually really good.
It's really good.
Yeah, so if you're listening, it is Christmas time.
It's time. But you know who might really like a fruitcake along with the lines of our.
My guess is Joe Biden.
I think Drew Kaiser might really like a fruitcake. If
You think
anybody
he-
out there,
I think it'd be a great
we'll
gift.
see if it.
You know, as a part of
would
his
this push-
recovery,
would this push him to his breaking point as it did this preacher apparently.
and honestly, as a part of his recovery, I think we should fruitcake Drew. So listeners of the podcast, if you want to help Drew through recovery, let's gift him a fruitcake this season. Everyone listening,
fruit's good
all
for you.
7 of you, send Drew a fruitcake.
Right.
And worst case scenario, he can hold on to it. And if he's hungry 30 years from now, he can eat it then because it'll keep forever.
Or he might have to go into a rant, which,
It's
it's
a win-win either way.
Part of this whole bad preacher thing is to try to drive Drew toward a rant one of these days.
I've heard Drew give a couple of what I like to call the soapbox rants.
Mm-hmm.
I wish we could get him to do one from the pulpit.
It's never
one day.
been from the pulpit, right?
No, I've heard some really good ones.
If he would ever do the pews in this auditorium look like the underpass and homeless people live here rant.
Yeah, it would be wonderful.
Take your shawls and your boxes of Kleenexes and your stools and your blankets to your homes.
Oh, yeah.
That would be
Now, that was a young
one.
Drew. I wonder if Drew's mellowed on that. That was a 15, 17 year ago Drew. Drew may have mellowed a little on that one.
All right. Let's also give ourselves an action item to talk to Drew about the underpass rant.
Yeah. I think that
and
needs
if
to
he
be a
still
topic
holds,
here.
holds true to that one.
Yeah. I'll put a pin in that.
All right.
All right. So let's take a break. We'll come back and do our quotation for the night.
A history left forgotten, a history left unpunished. Miles and miles of white-capped green can't make up for that shame. These cotton rules are death-like, they came about through fire.
All right, we're back. Let's talk about our quote this evening. This quote is by Ben Franklin. If you don't know who he is, I don't know where you've been. You obviously were never in school. I'm not even going to go into details about who Ben Franklin was, but Ben Franklin, pretty cool dude. Had a lot of writings. This is a short quote. We've done some really, really long ones. This may be the shortest one we've done, but I really like it. Never ruin an apology with an excuse. And I'll repeat it. Never ruin an apology with an excuse.
All right. So that's an interesting one, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that a lot of times apologies aren't the easiest thing in the world to do, right? I mean,
No.
and some of us are better at that than others are. I'm not always good at this, right? This is an area that I have to work on sometimes, right? Is number one, admitting when you're wrong, and number two,
saying it
is verbalizing that, right? Is apologizing about it. And I think this quote is right on because this is just personal. A lot of times if we're struggling with that apology, the qualifiers start coming into it.
The but. I'm
Right.
sorry.
I'm sorry, but when I saw this one for the first time, I thought about, Jason, if I've ever done anything to offend you, I'm sorry, which is a cloaked, I don't think I've ever done anything wrong to you.
Or if you were offended by that statement, like it's your fault that you were offended.
Right. And so those kind of statements came to my mind as being like what this is trying to address. And I think we can get into why do we do those kinds of things sometimes and what is the impact as it relates to this. Does it really ruin an apology when we do those kinds of things?
So it's interesting. So an apology, I've read a lot of books about apology, forgiveness, that kind of thing. And a kind of a common theme with apologies or making amends, which is different from an apology, but it's kind of in that same category, is that an apology is you owning and taking responsibility for your wrong, for something. So if I'm apologizing to you, Tim, I'm apologizing to you for something I have done wrong. I have wronged you. I have caused harm, and I'm making an apology. So I'm owning that. I'm taking responsibility for it. I'm saying this is my fault. Excuses take away from that. because when you start to make excuses, either about what might have caused that behavior or something that, Tim, you may have done to me that caused me to act in such a way, I'm now taking that blame and responsibility off of me and I'm putting it onto something else. And that's when apologies start to become very insincere, because I can't control how you react to my apology. I can't control to what you've done to me, but I can control trying to reconcile, trying to take responsibility and ownership of something I've done. And that's where the apology should start and finish is, I was wrong when I said this. I want to make apology. I want to say I'm sorry for that. I'm willing to do anything to make up for it. And then just shut up.
Right.
It's the best thing you can do.
A lot of times, what do? We say, hey, I'm really sorry that I blew up at you.
Yeah.
But when you did so-and-so, it just made me go nuts. And it's like, what that really does is it just it ruins the...
Yeah, it steals from the power of the apology.
Right. Yeah. And it's like, nobody's looking for, when you decide to apologize to someone, that's a personal decision, right? Nobody's making you do that. There's very few situations where somebody has a gun to their head and they're having to apologize about something. So if you're going to apologize to someone, just focus on the apology, not on the giving yourself an out while you shouldn't be issuing this apology, because if you cannot do it without that explanation, you just shouldn't do it.
Yeah, because you still need to go back and do some self-searching about where were you wrong.
Right.
And I can say, well, I reacted to what you said. That's why I got this way. But I had a choice to react that way. Sure. And if I react that way, that's not your fault. You were sharing. And anytime there's conflict, both sides have room to apologize. And it takes both sides being willing to apologize for there to truly be reconciliation. But if I start trying to rationalize my behavior, if I start trying to point blame at, well, this set me off or this caused me to react in this way, well, I'm no longer saying I'm responsible for what I did. I'm saying I just reacted to the situation. And that's not being sincere in your apology. And it to me, it damages your hopes for reconciliation, because that creates resentment and grudge. I mean, we've all had somebody come up to us and say, well, I'm sorry that offended you. Well, it wasn't that I was offended. It's that you said something harmful to me and hurtful to me. That's what you should be apologizing for.
So, I think we focused on sort of a couple of different types of ways that we make excuses, right? Sometimes we make excuses to try to give a reason for our behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we make excuses to say, I feel obligated to apologize to you, but I'm not really sure I did anything wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's sort of like, did I,
have the remorse.
Right. And so that's that whole deal of, Patrick, if I've ever done anything, that was offensive to you, I'd like to clear my slate by giving you this blanket apology.
Blanket apology.
Enjoy, right? And so, I think that this just comes down to the fact of, when you're going to apologize about something, make it simple and just apologize. I'm sorry that I did this. And if you need to say, I feel like it did this to you, or what, but it needs to be about what you did.
That's right. And then you just need to shut up.
And then just stop. Right. And a lot of times it's really that shut up part is hard for us to do.
Oh yeah.
Because we, and sometimes it's because we're really not sold on that we've, was I really wrong here? Right.
Yeah.
And, do you have to be the only person that was wrong? Do you have to have done something so heinous that it was 100% wrong on my side in order to apologize to someone about something?
Yeah. To have reconciliation, somebody has to start the process. And if you are truly convicted that you were wrong, then you need to go and make an apology and an amends for it. But if you're at that state where you're not completely sure that you really owe an apology, it is better to not apologize than to go and give a half-hearted, I'm only doing this because I think you need it. Because deep down, making an amends, making an apology for something is as much about you as it is about the other person. It's admitting I was wrong. It's admitting I understand that I hurt you. And it's essentially asking for forgiveness, reconciliation, and saying that I can't change what's happened, but I can acknowledge that what I did was wrong, and I want to make things better and right in the future. And that's as much about your own healing as it is about the other person's healing. And you can try to make an amends or an apology and the other person still hold a grudge at you. But once you've released that and made that apology, if you're sincere in it, it's done. You've done all you can do. You can't control how the other person responds to that.
Right.
So you can it all comes down to being responsible for what you can control. But if you're not going to do it sincerely, I'd rather you not apologize to me.
Right. And if you're not convinced there's reason for apology, then maybe the best course of action is, hey, Jason, I feel like we need to talk about what happened.
That's
here. Right. So I'm not, so I didn't start this by saying I was wrong or whatever. I mean, if I feel like we need to talk this out, then maybe the apology is not the way that it needs to happen. Mm-hmm. Don't try to cloak excuse making into the apology when really you just need to sit down and have a conversation. Work something out.
That's right. It is better to say, hey, Tim, you and I, we're not seeing eye to eye on this, or there's something negative between us. Let's sit down and just talk it out. That's better to say than say, I'm sorry for how I acted when you treated me this way. I mean, that's just because it just defeats it at that point.
It does.
Because you're again creating a harm by blaming the other person for your reaction.
And this says it ruins it. I would really probably go one more step to say when you give these kinds of apologies with qualifiers, you're typically worse off than if you had said nothing at all.
Absolutely.
You've really just created more damage in a situation where there probably is a problem here already. Yeah. And
I think when you apologize, something you said earlier, it's important to acknowledge where you were wrong, what you see that you caused the harm for the other person. So, Tim, I was wrong when I got so angry at you and called you names. I know those were hurtful things to say. I know that they hurt your feelings. And I want to say you don't even have to say I'm sorry for it. You can just say, I know it was hurtful when I said those things. I want to make things right. I would like to reconcile our friendship. However you want to say it. What can I do to make that right? That goes a long way as to solving things instead of going, like the little kids when you see them in the classroom and they're like, sorry. And then they just turn and walk away. That doesn't work.
Right. You put the two kids up next to you. Say it. Yeah. Say it now.
Yeah. It's not.
What do you say?
Yeah. That doesn't.
Sorry.
Because just saying sorry doesn't fix anything.
Right.
In fact, I would say saying I'm sorry is one of the most useless phrases out there because you're not doing anything. You're just trying to let yourself off the hook and say, well, I've asked for forgiveness. I said I'm sorry, so we should be better. There's a lot of work to be done in making amends and restoring a relationship. It's not just I'm sorry and everything's back to normal. And I think we teach our kids a lot of times by doing that. All right, you two need to say you're sorry to each other, and then you can go on and play. It's like maybe we should talk a little bit more about what we're sorry for and what we did to create the need to apologize.
Right. And how we can fix the situation
and try
that's
to reconcile
been created here, right? And how we can reconcile. That's right.
Good quote by Ben Franklin. I like it. It's short. I think it's good advice. I think anytime you catch yourself wanting to make an excuse when you're trying to apologize, that's your indication that something's not right in your heart yet, and you probably should abandon that apology.
You know, the fact that you're willing to apologize does reflect that there's a state of your heart. I mean, we can get to the point where we're just not willing to ever admit that we're wrong. And, and that's a bad situation to get into. And so, we need to all work on having soft enough heart to admit that we're not always right. But then I think this is just great advice to think about when it comes time to deal with those things you've done wrong. Keep it simple, leave the qualifiers out, and then focus on how to make things right and how to, how to address the situation. And normally it's just going to be real simple. If somebody comes to you and says, "Hey, I'm sorry I did that, and I realize what I did, and I feel like I saw what it did to you, and I want to make that right," that's enough, right? And apologizing doesn't have to be very complicated. And in fact, the more complicated we make it, the more we're likely to undermine the whole thing.
That's right. But good quote. Thanks for listening to us tonight. I don't know. Next week, Wednesday night is Christmas, so I don't think we'll have an episode next week. Hopefully the week following, maybe we'll have Drew back with us and able to sit down with us and talk. Patrick, thanks for sitting in, running everything for us tonight.
Great job, always.
It's pretty cool having Mr. Producer in the building with us. I think that's my new nickname for you. If you haven't done so, go on Instagram, passages_podcasts, like, subscribe, follow, share, send us messages, tell your friends about us. Let's get up over 30 listeners this year. We're going to try to get there quickly, but we'll be back next time with Passages.
Follow us on Instagram at passages_podcast and join us next time on Passages.